Alright, so we are back in the Harmon Museum. I'll give you guys a quick tour of the place. It's also, I call it the Lebanon Historical Museum. It's a pretty cool place. Not too expensive. You guys should come check it out. This is the site of the world's largest ghost hunt that they do. As part of that annual event, this is the site for like Lebanon, Ohio, where they do it. Now, if you've been in here before, you know I've got a video out of this room. Now, we usually pick up quite a bit of activity here in this room. Patrick's with me. Hey, Patrick.
How's it going?
So when we first came in here with Patrick, he said he thought he heard a kid. I think we've picked up a kid before in here when I originally started in here, and I said I think there is somebody in here because there was a spirit interacting with me. I thought it was a kid, but naturally I second guessed it because from an energetic standpoint it was very, very powerful. And we're not talking like Goku Super Saiyan powerful, we're talking like it had a lot of energy to it. So I was skeptical if it was a kid, but in this room is where we picked up on the kid. We'll probably be in the building for about an hour or so, but I just want you guys to see some of the hot spots in here. So if you decide to ever come by here, let the staff know what you're doing so you're not just walking around interrupting guests. This main room right here, never picked up a ton in here. As you can see, there's a ton of old farm equipment. So from a energy standpoint, you know, there's probably a lot of residual energy in here. That's creepy. Looks like they got some of it blocked off. We're gonna go around here. There's an Underground Railroad exhibit and that leads straight upstairs. So down here primarily is that child spirit, and then you're dealing with a bunch of residual energy.
Hi. No, I think we're good so far. Thank you. Okay.
And here goes the Underground Railroad portion, unless they've changed it. You know, I swear everybody calls me at the wrong time. This is the Underground Railroad exhibit. You know, a lot of people don't come into the Harmon Museum, even if you're not into the paranormal and stuff like that. Just come by here. It's an excellent museum. And you'll see what I'm talking about just when we get to this next level, how much is here. Now, again, I'm going to go back to this. This place is full of historic antiques. And, you know, there's a lot of room for residual activity here. And I keep bringing up residual activity because, yes, it's just repetitive. It's just instances of things that were. But at the same time, residual activity has a pulse and other entities feed off of that. And I can say that with assurance because, you know, I've done the research, one, and in this place, you've got two prominent, potentially three prominent, very intelligent spirits here. One downstairs in the boy. The second one, excuse me, is up in this area with an older man, a very religious man. And then my favorite is up in this back area. When we get there, there's a woman, incredibly intelligent woman. I have an EVP from her that just sounds amazing. I have to clear that audio up because I do have it. And you guys should hear it because I've been here 3-4 times now. And I say this because the interaction with these intelligent spirits is strong. And it's strong because the building itself is very much like a capacitor. You know, it has its own energy. It's a full battery from all the residual energy here. You know, you got thousands upon thousands of little small items that carry their own residual energy that fuel this place, that fuel the energy here, that fuels activity. And if you really want to know from a residual standpoint how they might interact with your ESP, it's psychometry. You go and you can put your hands on probably a lot of these different pieces of historical items, and from a psychometry standpoint, you're going to start to get visions. You're going to start to get information from each one. Those visions and that information through sort of clairvoyance is how the residual energy works. Now that residual energy can give you, through your ESP, a vision, give you information about spirits and things like that. But at the same time, it's constantly leaking off energy into the air. And that energy that leaks off into the air fills this place. And as a result, other entities who may be here can use it to propel themselves, to manifest, to, you know, just be active, to give you higher quality EVPs, low quality EVPs, what have you. Well, this is new. And so when you go into these places, when you go into these historical museums, when you see old artwork, when you go to the Natural Museum of History here in Cincinnati, these artifacts and things they bring in, they all could give you something. Granted, you can't put your hand on most of it. So when we come in here and we start our investigation, our minor investigation, we expect to get some things. Now the colors in this are amazing. The camera doesn't do it justice. So the male spirit was picked up down here and upstairs. Very religious man from what I hear. Sort of got into it with a friend of mine. And then the female spirit, she seems fairly nice. Hey, Patrick, this place is a powerhouse.
There's so much storage that happens in here.
I'm gonna go upstairs because there's a second floor, and then where the woman is at is back up here. So I'm just gonna do a tour and talk, and then we can get started. There's also stuff up here in the front. A little overview. You know, so for about $10 you can come in here and investigate if you choose, or come in here and just look at everything. COVID-19 restrictions, you need to wear a mask 6 feet apart. Some beautiful works of art. You know, the great thing about art, I was explaining this earlier, is from a distance. This is gorgeous, as you know. It's awesome. Once you get closer into these things, you can go in and study and start to see how just these little small strokes, these, you know, minute details come together to form this one large, beautiful picture. And that's the great thing. Like, a lot of people say, I can't draw. And I tell them everybody's an artist, man. You just have to, you just get in there and you make the small chisels. And you get it done, you know. This guy used to be downstairs. They did a great job putting these all together. The lighting they used is great too. You like dials? There you go. So we'll come up here. Right now we're on the second floor. Again, that's where the woman's at. Hopefully they haven't changed that area too much. We're going to go here where they predominantly found the male. If you saw when we came up in here, this is the Shaker Village area. Now, if I'm correct, I think Shakers are very religious people. When that older male spirit was here sort of being antagonizing towards my friend, I think he was pestering her about some religious things. And that would sort of make sense. A lot of old furniture up here. You know, wood can hold in a lot of different energies. You could see how the potential for somebody to be attached to one of these things is very likely, you know. A lot of these tools in here were probably used by people for decades. So they have a lot of connection to them. And I'm of the opinion that when things attach, they sort of find an energy in something. And they attach and they feed off that energy. A lot of these things are very small in terms of overall energy output. So the attachments are minimal. When you do psychometry and things like that and you pick up that information, you're really digging deep into it. They're taking whatever small bit of energy is there, and then you're going from an ESP standpoint and you're deciphering it, and it projects images. Like if you put a, you know, SD card, you use those bits of information to transfer information, and you know, 26 megabytes on the SD card to somebody who doesn't know what the hell it is, or a program that doesn't know how to properly interpret it, it's just gibberish. But in the same way that you do psychometry with a piece or an item that has residual energy, you touch it and your brain deciphers what the message is. And just like 26 megabytes on an SD card equals a 30-minute video of one piece, in your mind, you know, touching an item to do psychometry, those 26 megabytes of energy becomes an image in your head that your brain transfers over. Do you believe it or not is up to you. So we're going to get to the part that I really like, and that's where the woman is at. And I really like it because I was up here doing a live EVP session. Live EVP session is when you hook headphones up to your recorder and you listen to what the headphone picks up in actual time. And you can get the stronger EVPs you can get, and you'll hear them. Look at that quilt. It's awesome. Actually, I want it to be darker. There you go. Pretty. It's not much heat, or there's AC up here, you know. It's getting hot. So they did change this a little. So the woman I picked up was in this area here. What she said, I can't remember, but what had happened was I was up here running an EVP session trying to talk to her, and as clear as day I hear this pretty clear EVP that had the inflection and tone of a woman, and she said something to me, and just instantly, you know, I got a feeling of peace and happiness. So I wasn't so much concerned with there being anything negative. There's really nothing negative in here. And you might say, well, you're just talking about the guy being a jackass to your friend. That's not negative. That's not malevolent in any way. That's just like a normal person who has strong religious beliefs. Just not agreeing with certain aspects of people's lives. That's a disposition. That doesn't equal a negative entity. But overall, the place is pretty good. If you do find yourself coming in here, I ask that you come in here with a relaxed mind, a mind focused on positivity, not a mind focused on confrontation. Confrontation isn't what's going on in here. And we're lucky right now because Patrick and I are the only people in here. So I'm going to talk to Patrick. We're going to figure out what we want to focus on. Since we're not going to be here for long, it'll probably be just a few sessions of trying to get more validation that those intelligent spirits are in fact here. And if they are continuing to be here, if they're not just spirits that come to visit, we'll try and figure out some other things about them and see how they like to respond to us. So again, this is the Harmon Museum in Lebanon, Ohio. It is absolutely a great place to come visit. Come check out the history. They've done an excellent job here. And after the COVID-19 original precautions where everything sort of shut down, they could use your patronage, however you say it. Come here, spend money, look around, help out. So, thank you. And then we're going to get started.